Good evening and hello world. We are broadcasting live via the internet to planet Earth. We are Midnight's Edge After Dark. And with us, as always, is an Alex Becker commercial that's on my live feed here. Alex, shut up. Okay. That's what we got for live feed. Well, anyway, I am, of course, your narrator supreme, Mr. Robb Robot Shlomo, with us, as always, is Mr. Tom Connors.
Good evening, good sir. How are we doing?
Oh, fantastic. And joining us live from the center of the earth is the one, the only, Mr. Dictor Van Doomcock.
Greetings, legionnaires, villains, rogues, vagabonds, and, of course, future subjects.
All right.
I'm Van Doomcock. How the fuck are y'all doing?
Okay. And this should settle the question once and for all that we are not, neither Tom nor I are Dictor Van Doomcock. And to prove it, we are going to do something. Ready? Hello.
Hello. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we are live. It's all three of us. The Three Stooges are live.
Yes, greet Tim on FLP. Hello from Brazil. Wow, Brazil is representing. Or as I call it, Brazil.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah, Brazil is. Anyway, let's just jump right in because we're kind of pressed for time here.
Yeah, we only have the Overlord for a short time period. There's a sunspot that's about to ruin his reception, so we gotta. Yeah.
You can probably go till about 11:10. That's pushing. I can do 11:10.
Okay. Well, we're gonna speed this along right here.
Yep. We'll try and take some questions at the end if we got time after the. Yeah. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. So anyway, first things first. Let's jump in. Geoff Johns, as Tom reported earlier, is stepping down from the creative chief officer position at DC Entertainment. And he will move into a Warner Brothers first look producing deal where he will write movie vehicles to produce for MEAD Ghost Productions. Johns will continue to work on existing DC films. This comes actually to us from Variety. The move isn't entirely a surprise given that Johns' wingman, John Berg, moved out to become a lot-based producer for Warner Brothers, and DC chief and 25-year Warner Brothers vet Diane Nelson announced her retirement following a months-long sabbatical. Johns and Nelson clashed loudly, sources said. This follows a subpar record for DC feature films, one that has reminded everyone that it has been a long time since Chris Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. And Jim Lee actually will be taking over Geoff Johns' position as DC Entertainment Creative Officer. But it honestly doesn't sound like Geoff Johns really did anything, though, when he was over there. You know, hey guys, I got some really great ideas. Yeah, that's nice, Jeff. Just go play in traffic. Yeah, so. But actually, we have a related Geoff Johns story. The Green Lantern Corp movie is actually still happening, and Geoff Johns will be writing it. This actually comes to us from comicbook.com. Green Lantern mythology has been one of the cornerstones of DC Comics universe for decades. In 2011, the property was finally brought to the big screen with Ryan Reynolds playing Hal Jordan as a recipient of the Ring of Willpower. Green Lantern proved to be a critical and commercial dud, but DC and Warner Brothers haven't given up on bringing the Emerald Knight back to the big screen. Since 2014, a reboot titled Green Lantern Corp has been in the works, and while there has been several notable developments behind the scenes in the years since, the only major detail concerning the movie itself has come out that it would follow multiple lanterns rather than focus on just one. But today, it's finally been confirmed that Hal Jordan and John Stewart will be Green Lantern Corp's starring lanterns. Earlier today, it was announced Geoff Johns is stepping down as president-in-chief of DC Creative Officer, yada, yada, yada. Actually, and it goes on to say, while Hal Jordan wasn't the first Green Lantern in the comics, the honor belongs to Alan Scott, whose Ring of Power produced magic rather than science. He was the first human member of the Green Lantern Corps, introduced in 1959 showcase. Okay. But actually, the two Green Lanterns, actually Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz, are going to also be in the movie. And that is, they're going to be in the movie along with Hal Jordan and John Stewart. But what this does is it kind of opens the door to them to get around and this is gonna sound idiotic. It gets them around the whole, strong female character. The need to reboot the character as, Helena Jordan. So yeah. So yeah, I cringe at the thought. Yeah, but guys, what do you think?
How you felt? I was asking to ask you how you felt about this, Rob, since you're probably the biggest Green Lantern fan on the panel. I know I don't know how big of a man you are, Doomcock, but
Well, yeah, I love Green Lantern. The movie stunk, and I don't know why I think that. I mean, that this is going to be any better. Why would it possibly be any better, Rob?
Well, it really wouldn't. I don't know if it'd be any better. It depends. Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Green Lantern was a movie they should have. It was easy to get right, and for some reason they got it really, really, really wrong. I can't explain it. Everything they got, from the wrong director to the wrong writer to the wrong guy playing Green Lantern to the wrong Carol Ferris love interest. Everything about it just stunk on ice. And actually, I am a little bit disappointed in this news, because I would kind of like to see Saranique Natu be one of the Green Lanterns. She's Sinestro's daughter,
right?
And she has a relationship with Kyle Rayner. But actually, that would set up an interesting thing, about how the other Lanterns would always be fearful that she would turn on them. So that would have been an interesting thing, interesting story. But Green Lantern's let me down once. I'm willing to give it another chance. But there's just so much you can do with this that I have no idea why it would be difficult to get right. And in the right hands, it would be very easy to get right. So I don't know. I'm reserving judgment. I'd like to think they're gonna get this right, but for the love of God, please don't say, "Oh, Idris Elba should be Jon Stewart. Where do I vote?" Because it's not a fucking all-star ballot, okay, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Zack Snyder is not going to do it, right?
No, I hope not.
No, as far as I know,
green isn't one of the colors he uses. He uses blue,
use any color.
Uses gray, uses off blue, uses reddish gray. I don't think he actually has green in his vocabulary, so he couldn't really direct this movie.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they're keeping Geoff Johns as far away as possible at this point. Or, I'm sorry, Zack Snyder as far away as possible at this point, and that's the best thing they can do.
Zack Snyder wants to direct The Fountainhead, which is an Ayn Rand book. I'm like, great, we're gonna have more 19-year-olds go see The Fountainhead. Yeah, I don't need anybody. Now pay my tuition, Dad. Just.
Did you all hear the pitch that he had for Green Lantern?
No.
Zack Snyder. He went in the office. He said, "Hi guys." They said, "Hi Zack, how's it going?" He says, "Oh, pretty good. I've got some great DC ideas." Right? Yeah. Said, "What's your pitch for Green Lantern?" He says, "Well, first of all, I think we need to change it to get this, guys, blue-gray lantern." And I see it that way. I think that's a really high concept thing, and it will. You know what it will do? It will circumvent viewer expectations, just like Kathleen Kennedy, just like Ryan Johnson. They're hot, guys. They're hot. Okay, Zach, we'll get back to you.
Well, you have to have a very high IQ to understand, of course. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
right.
if the movie is terrible, well, obviously it's the audience's fault.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah,
Ryan, misogynistic bastards who don't like green.
Oh, of course. That's right, yeah. Because green is the color of leprechauns, and if you ever see a girl
the female
leprechaun,
M&M,
girl leprechaun power.
Well, anyway, moving on, since we're getting a little pressed for time here. Matt Reeves, the Batman, likely a reboot with no Ben Affleck. Actually, this comes also from comicbook.com as well. Buried in the announcement of Geoff Johns' job change at Warner Brothers, Deadline reports that the Batman will likely be a reboot with a standalone franchise starring a new actor rather than bringing Ben Affleck back to the role. Reports have been mixed regarding Affleck's interest in returning to the role and Warner Brothers' interest in bringing him back, since even before Justice League flew into theaters and landed with a thud last year. Ooh. Given the frequency and magnitude of those rumors, along with the implicit critique of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Justice League included in the Deadline story, it is possible that the new information this is not new information, but rather an educated guess based on previous stories. Nevertheless, Deadline's industry profile makes such offhand remarks feel less likely and gives the claim more weight. The Batman, which Reeves has hinted might be part of a trilogy, has been rewritten a few times, and is reportedly expected to shoot in 2019 at this point. Despite months of rumors to the contrary, Affleck recently expressed an interest in continuing on as Batman, according to insiders. Another one. How can you get Batman wrong? How can you screw Batman up? I don't understand. I don't understand. Even
Joel Schumacher, anyone?
You know what? Okay, attention, Rian Johnson. Joel Schumacher has apologized. You should too.
So, that is true. That is very true.
Round-headed fuck. Joel Schumacher did it first, and he did it better. He fucked things up so bad it caused people to spontaneously combust in theaters. You piece of shit. Weak little girly man. Fuck you.
Oh boy.
I really don't like that guy. Sorry, that's subtext.
No, I think that's just text at this point. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But people keep asking, how do you unfuck the DCEU? I'm like, I don't think there's any chance now. I really don't.
No.
I mean, two separate Joker movies, two separate Jokers, the Batman. Oh, brother. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. I mean, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight were great movies, and they had Batman right. Why did they stop?
Don't know. It's just like it's kind of like what do we do now?
Let's fuck it up now. That'll be novel.
Yeah. Remember the Star Trek episode The Apple when they were trying to beat Vol. It's like Christopher Nolan was their Vol, and as soon as he went away, Vol, guide us, Landru, Return to the Archons. Landru, guide us, help us, Landru.
We are not of the body anymore.
No, Christopher Nolan just proved that it should have ended with Dark Knight because, I'm sorry, Dark Knight Rises, I just wasn't that big. I mean, it's okay movie. It's good, but compared to the other two, it's just like, it's almost like Matrix Revolutions compared to...
Yeah, it's not Reloaded. Even the same species. It was terrible. I didn't like it at all. But the first two I really liked.
Yeah. Oh man. Actually, boy. Like I said, it seems there's a joke in Deadpool 2 about Dark. You must be from the DC universe. I'm like, yeah. What is this? What is this aversion to color that they have? I don't understand.
Exactly. They see that anything that is going to be goofy or colorful as kiddish. So they want to try to avoid that because they think that they're going to get that crowd that isn't the Marvel crowd. But unfortunately, 90% of the crowd is a Marvel crowd. And
exactly.
It's not so much that it's the Marvel crowd thing, don't get me wrong. It's just that they figured out how to do the formula right. Comic books have a tone to them. And depending on the character or the story, as long as you adhere to the tone and stay true to the characters, you can do whatever you want with them pretty much. And that's what Marvel has proved since they have gone far beyond what's on the page. You know what I mean? In comparison to what we got on the screen. But most of what we got on the screen, most people enjoy, other than Doomcock didn't enjoy Infinity War so much, but most of us did. So, and I actually like that portrayal of Thanos a little bit better than what's in the comics compared to what you said, Doomcock. But I digress. The point being is they can still take, these characters out of what we normally know from the comics. Like look at Thor Ragnarok, for instance, is a mix between, Thor story and Planet Hulk in a lot of ways. And the same thing goes with how they turn like Ant-Man into a heist movie and so on and so forth. It's just they're able to, Captain America is a political thriller and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, superheroes have always been very malleable. And, I mean, they really take advantage of that feature of the superhero universes. But DC has made them just beyond mundane. It's just grim,
Well, we got Snyder Man first, and that
I picture a lot of DC fans sitting in the theater. Must not smile. Laughing wastes oxygen. Must not smile. You know, just like gritting their teeth. Seriousness at all times.
Well, as I was saying, first we got Snyder Man, then we got Body Bag Man versus Snyder Man, then we got then we got Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad, which I think half the audience committed suicide while watching Suicide Squad. I think the statistics say
they wanted to. The sweet release of death.
Oh man, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I think at that point it was like everything was so bad that Suicide Squad, it was like, oh my god, that wasn't just that horrible. But even looking back on it, and it's like, oh my god, that wasn't that great of a movie either. And Wonder Woman, everybody knows I wasn't a fan of that, even though a lot of people were. And then Justice League, of course, we just got a mess there.
Let's not forget
Joss Whedon League.
Let's not forget Watchmen set the whole tone for this whole.
I didn't have the problem as much as many people had with Watchmen. I actually enjoyed Watchmen, except for the Snyderisms. And that is, the slow-mo and the darkness, which the tone does fit the comic. And I actually do give them credit that the ending of the movie works a little bit better than the comic book. But yeah.
No, that's bull. I cannot let that stand.
You disagree with that one?
That is so fucked up. No. Watchmen is, I think, the greatest graphic novel ever fucking written. I mean, it approaches the level of high literature. And if you cannot deal with making that ending in the comic book palatable, then you are not really equipped to direct the fucking movie. I mean, it's like taking Moby Dick and saying, yeah, white whale, let's make it an alien. Let's make it a spaceship. That's the goddamn story. You need to stick to it. The same thing with Watchmen is a fucking masterpiece. I repeat, Watchmen is a great fucking masterpiece. I have many copies of it. I got the absolute one, the one that weighs 5 tons, and you have to have robots turn the pages because they're so heavy. And I worship at the altar of Alan Moore, a fucking genius.
There's one version where actually it's not printed on pages. Each page is actually an oil painting, and you have to actually lift them up and just But,
it should be like that. It should be like a gallery, and you have to wander from wall to wall with it up there. You know what I mean?
Here's a fun fact about Watchmen. Actually, if in the movie, if you speed up all the slow motion scenes in the movie Watchmen, you can watch the whole thing in about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
that's every Zack Snyder movie, though.
Yeah, that's true. His 300, Jesus.
But the thing about Watchmen is they have to keep it in print. Warner Brothers publishing DC Comics, they have to keep it in some version of it in print at all times. Otherwise, the rights revert to Alan Moore.
Well, good. I hope that I mean, oh my God! Let me tell you something. The Zack Snyder the Zack Snyder version of Watchmen is going to be a towering, staggering work of heartbreaking genius compared to what the motherfuckers are going to do to it. Lindelof is going to do to it on HBO. Oh my God! I cannot imagine the atrocity.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So we do have
Tom,
one more news.
Tom, you take the lead on this because this is more your speed. Or do you have the story up? Or
I don't. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take the lead then. There's actually
another remake from the '80s coming.
Yes, Arachnophobia. This comes to us from I'm not sure where, but Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment and James Wan's Atomic Monster are teaming up on a remake of the 1990s horror comedy Arachnophobia. The film, which was unveiled Monday, is at the early stages with no directors, actors, or writers attached. Wan will not direct. I don't know if that's good or bad. The original was helmed by Frank Marshall in his directorial debut.
Oh, that's Mr. Kathleen Kennedy.
Yes, Mr. Kathleen Kennedy. And starred Jeff Daniels, John Goodman, Harley Jane Kozak, and Julian Sands. It was the first movie released by Disney's Hollywood Pictures label and was produced by Amblin and Tangled Wed Productions. I think they spelled that wrong. Got to proofread these guys. The film centered on a newly discovered Venezuelan spider being transported to a small American town and producing a new species of deadly spiders, which began killing town's residents. Arachnophobia, named after the fear of spiders and other arachnids such as scorpions, made use of Avondale spiders from New Zealand, which were picked due to their large size and harmless nature. The film took in a respectable $53 million at the domestic box office. So
how much?
$53 million at the domestic.
Yeah, because I remember they boosted that sucker like it was going to be the biggest movie of that year, and it didn't do the greatest. I remember it did okay, but it didn't do the greatest.
Yeah, it did okay. Not great. You know, they played it more? They advertised it more like a horror comedy.
Yes, they fucked up the advertisement. That's the advertising. They advertised it as a comedy more so than a horror at all, and the movie was more so a horror and with very little comedy. And they also made John Goodman out like he was the star, and he's only in 3 scenes I think in the whole movie. But the point is, I'm pissed about this for various reasons, and the number one reason is we don't even have a decent DVD of this movie out, let alone Blu-ray, and we're getting a fucking remake. The DVD that's on the market right now that you can buy is a literal rip from the Laserdisc master. It's not even an anamorphic widescreen.
Ugh.
They have yet to do a Blu-ray of this, but yet they're going to do a
Yeah, Steven Anderson, yes, this was a Disney movie that was released through Hollywood Pictures.
Yes.
I would suspect that there's going to be a 30th anniversary edition or whatever. What year was it released? 89?
I believe it was 89.
Yeah, there probably will be a 30th anniversary edition at some point before.
If it wasn't 89, then it was 90.
This movie releases. So I'm waiting, and I'm still waiting. I'm waiting on my.
If there's a Blu-ray, it's the Extreme Remix Factor. Where is it? Because I want it. Send me a link. Thank you if you have it. Because that's.
I'm waiting.
What I've looked for.
I'm waiting on a 50th anniversary of a Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Ultimate Edition or something like that.
All they're going to do is put it in a new case and read. That's all they do anymore. And we don't even need to get into that because we get into that on Talking Blue. But yeah, it's this movie was so much fun. I can't believe. I don't know. If they do it right,
it's just the latest victim. It's just the latest victim of Hollywood's chronic lack of imagination. I mean, they never met a movie they didn't want to rip off and remake, and they're never better. They're never fucking better. It's just a complete commercial waste of time.
Who's gonna write it? Alex Kurtzman? Jeez, I mean, or Cuba Goldsman. Or Cuba Goldsman, the same shit factory that we get in every movie. That's the new name for Alex Kurtzman in his crew, the Shit Factory, not the Bomb Factory, the Shit Factory.
The Shit Factory, yeah.
So, oh boy, but so anyway,
that's what I remade in my pants. Yeah.
So anyway, while I got a couple minutes here, and I watched the Sony press conference actually from E3. Lots of interesting game. The Spider-Man game looked awesome, but it did something which I wanted to see. There were segments where Spider-Man's feet did not touch the ground at all, and that's what I want in a Spider-Man game. None of this lazy ass running to everything. Death Stranding looked weird. We all knew that. It really, Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's game really looked weird. Days Gone was coming next year. That looks really good. The Last of Us 2 is going to be out next year, and that actually looks good. Cthulhu Chow, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Yeah. But no PS5 announcement, no price drop announcement. They actually did have some VR games. Actually, there's a VR game coming from the creators of Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland, and Squanch Studios, which actually looks really good. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but and there's actually they're keeping, and Ubisoft, they're keeping Splinter Cell somewhat on the wraps too. So. lots of fun stuff actually coming out of E3. So, and you can find E3, all the E3 coverage and the press conferences on YouTube. They have the E3 icon in the corner. They have them archived, so you can check it out there. Cyberpunk Twists and Fallout were my highlights. Yeah, well, I'm not a big role-playing game fan, but I'm always willing to give them a try. So, I haven't got 100 hours to spend, trying to find the key to J.J. Abrams' empty mystery box, So that's. So anyway, guys. So let's take we got a few minutes here actually before Doomcock. Let's go. Should we take some questions?
Yeah, I think we should let him take the reign on that, and we'll ask him the questions. And since he's our guest, we'll have hopefully most of them aimed towards him. So let's, because we had a few for him already. So why don't we? And I do stand corrected. Yes, Arachnophobia is on Blu-ray.
Oliver says there seems to be audio trouble. Actually, we're coming through pretty good. I'm coming through pretty good here.
It's probably because I opened up this thing for the Blu-ray. Sorry about that, guys. That's
okay. Too much clickety clack. Thoughts on EA and Square Enix? Oh, actually, you know what? Actually, speaking of Square Enix, Kingdom Hearts. There's going to be a new Kingdom Hearts game, and there's going to be a lot more Disney characters. Elsa is going to be in it. Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean are going to be in it. Rapunzel from Tangled is going to be in it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fun stuff in the new Kingdom Hearts game. Oh, and let's not forget The Incredibles this Friday.
Oh, yes.
Let's not forget about that. That's going to make up for the disappointment for Solo. So
hopefully so.
So anyway, come on, we got some
questions. Okay, so let's get some questions going for Doomcock. Yes, I know one of them up above was, I can't remember who asked it. Sorry, but they asked if you had read the Doomcock series from yet.
No, I haven't. I haven't read a Doomcock.
Yeah,
Doomcock series.
I'm not sure if that's the newer series for the Watchmen or not. I'm not up to that on that.
Oh, if it is, then no, for sure. I don't take a look at any of that before Watchmen shit. I think that's just a sacrilege. I mean, it looks beautiful. I like, I see the artwork, but I'm not going to validate that with $1. Watchmen, look, people, not everything needs a fucking sequel, okay? Not everything needs to be a trilogy. Some things are perfect exactly standing alone, and I don't want to desecrate my memory of them with new material made by half-ass motherfuckers that never had a damn thing to do with the original. I mean, that's how I felt about fucking Blade Runner 2049. Now I'm sure it was a good movie. I've heard great things about it. I think that they were artistically valid in their approach, but Blade Runner is a perfect film in my opinion. And all that could be done in that sequel would be to soil my memory of it with saying, oh, this happened to Deckard, oh, this happened to Rachel. You know what? I'm not really interested in your ideas about what happened after Blade Runner. It's perfect, and I don't need any more. Same thing with Casablanca. What are we going to do? Have a sequel to Casablanca? There was a TV show like in the 70s with David Soul, of all people. You're going to try to put David Soul in my brain, replacing fucking Humphrey Bogart? Fuck you. Don't go to see these fucking things, man.
Casablanca in full coverage.
Well, anyway, Robert Suarez, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Yes, and he was also asking how you felt about the
the Doomsday Clock comic book series.
Yeah, so he got his question answered as he gave us a tip. Thank you so much for that. So let's see what else we got here for Doomcock.
Fan-Man, if Batman is getting a reboot, is there a chance the entire Zack Snyder universe will be abandoned for a full reboot? Brad Bird Superman, Geoff Johns Green Lantern.
I don't know. I hope so.
I think they're trying to put as much distance between Man of Steel and the Snyderverse as possible. They're quietly distancing themselves from that.
Brad Bird would kick ass if he ran the DC universe.
Yeah, he would.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I'm hoping Brad Bird gets involved with Lucasfilm. I really do.
Is Harvey available? We do have a request for Harvey.
Let me see. Harvey.
Here, boy.
Harvey. What?
What the fuck? What time is it?
It's going on 11
I'm here.
o'clock.
What? What's going on? Hey, everybody out there. What's up?
Does somebody have a question for Harvey? I'll ask you a question, Harvey. What's it like in all the other universes that you can see all at once or whatever it is?
Well, because you're bound in time and space and, normal geometry according to your perception, there's really no common frame of reference. In fact, my form that you see is quite different from my actual form, which is basically kind of formless, but not a punk bitch ass cloud like Galactus or the guy in the Green Lantern movie or the Smoke Monster or V'ger. In fact, guys, Hollywood, here's a note for you. Any movie that features a cloud as a villain is going to suck. Rise of the Silver Surfer, Lost, it's all
Hulk.
shit.
The Fog.
Well, the first Fog was good, but the remake sucked ass.
Yeah. Well, but the fog was fog. I mean, I'm not against having smoke or clouds. It's just that don't make it the villain. Okay.
Yeah. Well, within the fog, there was the ghost pirates.
Right. But they were the villains, not the fog. The fog was an innocent bystander.
Right, but when it comes to, like you said, Galactus and things like that.
Yeah, because you know what? Fogs really don't do good line readings, and they're just not very good villains. So,
Okay, we got a question from Edward Wood. Harvey, will you be replaced after the first season by a less whiny voice, since you are tormenting people from the center of the earth?
Yeah, go fuck yourself. You can just go fuck yourself. I don't really know what fucking means because I don't have that kind of genitalium, but I can tell you, because I've heard Doomcock say this enough, go fuck yourself. How's that? I'm not ever going to be replaced because I'm comedy gold.
Oliver Smith wants to know what you eat, Harvey.
Basically children's tears, the disappointment of Star Wars and Star Trek fans, and
no wonder you hang around Doomcock.
I'm gonna get fat. There's so much misery out here. Can you imagine all those kids that saw Infinity War? Like, oh boy, Thor is my favorite. Oh, what happened to Thor?
Or the grown man babies that saw The Last Jedi. Yeah.
Well, it did suck. I'm not saying that their tears are unjustified. I'm just saying
sarcastic,
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's a goddamn disgrace.
Oh boy, there's what about the evil clouds that? What about the evil clouds that appear in Super Mario 3?
Well, I mean, they're not like the boss level. It's not like you fought your way through Super Mario 3 and you get at the end, and what's at the end? A cloud.
Random game user asks Harvey, will be replaced? Oh, never mind. That's not a question. That's a
Harvey says Harvey will be replaced by the little girl. That's a cross between Minnie from Animaniacs and Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab. What does this button do?
Yeah, yeah.
You need.
Well, we're all being recast. I'll probably be like, Harriet Cthulhu next season.
You'll be recast by a 16-year-old girl. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I'll take off my tentacles and I'll be some chick.
But yeah, let's. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's keep the questions going while we.
Let's get Doomcock back in here too if we need to. To kind of keep Harvey under control.
Well, you fucking asked for him. It's not my fault.
I know. I understand, sir, but that's why we kind of keep you close, because this is like you're like Jack Hanna and I'm Johnny Carson right now, and you got to kind of be holding on to that leash with him, or he's going to destroy us all. If you're not paying attention.
That was some weird stuff.
Tyon Ranger, I still say no one died in Infinity War. Tom might be right about the time loop, but if Doctor Strange saw past the point, he isn't dead since that was established in the movie. Right. Yeah.
And with the art we just had come out, half of them are in the artwork that died. So yeah.
Will Doomcock convince Robb that Force Awakens sucks? I liked Force Awakens at the time. I'd like it less now. That's what I'll
Well,
say.
The Last Jedi fucks it up. That's half the
Yes.
problem. Yeah, what people did enjoy it. Yeah, of it.
You open up.
I liked The Force Awakens the first time when it was called fucking Star Wars. You know,
Well,
it really
it is
wasn't a very
technically
good
Star
remake
Wars.
of Star Wars. So, I kind of prefer new movies. I don't really like remakes.
What's your favorite story for each of the big three of DC Comics?
My favorite story?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that means any. I don't think it means it has to be limited to. I mean, just DC Comics as a whole.
Well, who's that for? Is that for Robb or me?
That's for I don't know.
Well, let's just go directly at you, Doomcock, since you're our guest, and nobody gets to ask you these kind of questions, I'm sure.
Well, I think my favorite Batman story, if I had to pick one, would be Batman: The Killing Joke by Alan Moore again. Although I also liked The Dark Knight Returns, obviously Frank Miller. I mean, I think those are the two best Batmans. The Superman story that I like again, Alan Moore, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, which was basically like a Valentine, an ending to the Kurt Swan run on Superman, and I thought it was quite brilliant. And who's the other of the big three? I mean, that's a matter for debate. I mean, Superman and Batman. Who else? What do you all think?
Probably Wonder Woman probably be the big three, but yeah, you could either take Green Lantern or whatever.
I'd throw in Flashpoint just to be
Flash.
an ass.
I liked Emerald Dawn on Green Lantern. Where Hal Jordan was basically, oh, I've had it, fuck this shit. It's like, to take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. And he's killing all the Green Lantern Corps and going to Ora to, fuck up some blue guys. That was a damn good arc.
I was gonna actually say that. I was gonna say that myself. Yeah, Emerald Dawn. Yeah. I like Long Halloween.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
The Court of Owls was really good too.
No, I haven't read that. That's the new DC, right? The reboot, right?
Everybody keeps forgetting about Kingdom Come. For some reason, that's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, goddamn. But that wasn't specific to one character. I mean, it was saying like the big three.
True, I suppose, but that does contain the big three. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I didn't think of it because it wasn't a particularly hero-centric. Also, Identity Crisis was pretty fucking brilliant, I thought.
Okay, let's move on to another question. You got one, Rob?
Robert Suarez, what do you think of the rumor that Avengers 4 will pick up 5 years after the snap?
If there's time travel involved, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I think I could see it. I don't know.
If that would sync up more with the leak we had, which I hope we're getting out of context, or at least is only half true, because I don't know about that, but that would be interesting.
Turn Ranger, has anyone read Sinestro Wars? Is it any good? I read Sinestro Wars. A lot of that spanned over all the Green Lantern, the 3 or 4 Green Lantern books, and that got kind of expensive, but it was good. What I did read of it. Blackest Night was incredible. Sinestro was badass. Required reading for all junior. Yeah, it is bad. It was really good.
Okay, Joshua Nystrand has a question. If you had one chance to revive any original Marvel DC franchise, which one would it be? Superman, The Man of Steel, Batman 3, Spider-Man 4. Okay, so he means like if we could actually go back and redo it, or pick up and do a sequel to a movie that already exists. Is there any out there for you guys?
Actually, you know what? There is one movie. I always say Silver Surfer, but there is one movie I think, or series, that it would probably make a good Netflix series. And a lot of guys aren't gonna be familiar with this, but the one Marvel series I would like to see on Netflix would be Machine Man. That was a limited series back in the early '80s. It was actually written by Frank Miller, and not a lot of people read it, and it is outstanding. If you get a chance to pick up the whole series, pick it up. It's a good read. You can get it pretty cheap, too. You can find it in the 25-cent bins or dollar bins in a lot of places.
Huh. Interesting.
Doomcock?
For me, I think I would have liked more Rocketeer. I wish that they had done a series of Rocketeer movies. I thought that was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it.
There's been talks of rebooting that.
Well, I didn't say reboot. I'd like it.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's true. That's the question.
Since it was kind of going back in time, I thought was the premise. I wish that they had continued it because I thought it was a charming and really delightful film, and a lot of people forget about it, but it was quite good.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a cult following now. Any other ones?
I'm just not really all that big about. I need to see comics on screen. I think that the comics that I love are perfectly good as comics, and I don't know. I've never been one of these guys that I clamored to see Watchmen on the screen. No, not really. I've got it. It's on my shelf and it's great. It's perfect that way. So I don't know. I'm not really that kind of. I don't have that kind of wish fulfillment.
I have one, but it wasn't a comic originally. But that would be if they would pick up RoboCop with just have Peter Weller do the voice. You could have somebody else stand in the outfit and do it as a series or something like that. That'd be sweet.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And Buckaroo Banzai.
There you go.
Yes.
They almost did. It sounded
Buckaroo
like for a
Banzai.
while. If Kevin Smith would have had his way, but the rights got in the way or something like that. It sounded like, but yeah.
Actually, is there enough there for a mini documentary about Buckaroo Banzai?
There might be now with that Kevin Smith deal. There just might be.
Yeah. It's a damn shame.
What happened with the rights? I'm not familiar.
They had everything going, I think, for an Amazon series, and then somebody who had they didn't know had some certain rights to the franchise or the characters said no go. Maybe it was even the original creator. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to look it up. It's been a while. If anybody out there remembers, this was like a year or two ago now. But yeah, it was really sad because it was getting really close to going forward, and then everything just went. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah. I not for nothing, but I'd like to be in a band named the Hong Kong Cavaliers. I really would. That would be awesome.
Because Kevin Smith is like a huge fan of the original film, so I guess that it was just a bummer to hear that wasn't going to happen.
Buckaroo. Is the original movie still in print? Can I still get a?
Oh yeah, I think Shout Factory. I think just did a nice Blu-ray of it.
Okay, good.
Oh, nice. I'd like to get that. Yeah.
There was a question up here. I seen it was a good one. No.
Which movie will be the final nail in the Snyderverse? That one.
There was a question from Man of Action. Where'd it go? Oh, gotta love this. It goes so fast, guys. This is why we missed so many of your questions, guys. Sorry about that.
Man of Action. Thoughts on the Walking Dead shit show?
That's what it was, because he's asked it a few times. I wanted to get to that one. Yeah. I am not a Walking Dead fan, so I haven't watched the show yet.
I tried watching The Walking Dead. But you know what? Want to know what killed it for me? When I saw them, obviously zombie apocalypse, they pull up in a brand new Hyundai Tucson. Oh, good to see Hyundai still making deliveries to dealerships during the zombie apocalypse. I'm like, I'm out. So,
wow.
I couldn't get into it. I could not get into it. I'm sorry.
I did watch it. I watched it for years. I'll just give you my capsule take on it. I thought season 1 was okay. I thought season 2, it's getting better. And around season 3, it really started to kick into high gear. And for a while there, I thought it was pretty goddamn great. What killed it for me? Negan. Negan really was a terrible miscalculation on the part of the showrunners. And that was my point. I made that point in my Infinity War review, that essentially, look, I know that bad shit happens to people in life. That's why we don't pay money to go see life. We go see movies. And there's certain genres that come with certain expectations. If I want, existential despair and grim interpersonal misery, I'll see Death of a Salesman, or I'll see Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, or Glengarry Glen Ross, all great movies. But when I go see a superhero movie, I want to see some fucking superheroes. And the whole point of superheroes is that they win. I mean, that's it, basically. They win. It's not really an interesting movie where the villain abducts a girl and ties her to the railroad tracks and the railroad runs over her. It's just like, that's just like, yeah, well, that's just what I expected to happen. So when you have like the superheroes go up against an all-powerful guy,
Right.
oh, that's going to be good. And what happens? The all-powerful guy wins.
Right.
Well, that's kind of what you'd expect. So it's not great. So like you've got like The Walking Dead, and it's not so much that Negan overpowered them and crushed Glenn's head in a graphic way in front of them. It's the way that they just basically had to bow and scrape and kiss his ass and constantly be humiliated over and over and over again. And that's not really why I go see this show. And also, I didn't buy it. I mean, I wrote a long essay about it a long time ago before I was, on YouTube, just ranting on forums in the wilderness like a fucking prophet, talking about that. I didn't buy the reality of it because it was bullshit, because of everything that Rick and those guys had gone through. They had a deep nihilism at that point, and life is no longer the sweetest fucking thing to cling to. It's not like you have guys in our world, suddenly they go there and Negan confronts them, then yeah, they're going to be cowed. These guys have been through so much shit. They have faced death. And death is not really the worst thing anymore, and to just take it up the wazoo from Negan over and over again, it just got old. So that's my take on that. That's why I stopped watching. It's like, this is dead. They ruined these characters for me.
Yeah.
All right. We had one from Robert Suarez. He asked, hey, Doomcock, as an Alan Moore fan, are you familiar with his run on Supreme and Swamp Thing? I highly recommend both.
Yeah, I am familiar with those. I thought that they were pretty damn good. The Swamp Thing was groundbreaking. Supreme, I read some. I can't really remember, but I have read Alan Moore's Supreme. I thought it was pretty good. I think Miracle Man is one of my favorite superhero properties of all time. I don't know if you guys have read Miracle Man, but it was outstanding.
I know of Miracle Man.
Yeah, I know of them, but haven't read it yet.
It was incredible. I mean, it was really looking at the reality of what it would be like to have superpowers, and basically how Superman wouldn't be basically spending all his time nabbing crooks and trying not to marry Lois Lane. He'd basically take over the world. I mean, that's what a guy that powerful would do, and it was a fantastic examination of the implications of that.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, so, we got a few more.
You said you got to 11:10, so we got one more time for one more quick question here.
Make it a good one here, guys.
Let's see here. What do we got?
Ben Affleck is done with Batman. Yeah, we think so.
Probably.
Getting rebooted aside from Wonder Woman. Yeah, probably. Let's see. Marvel Man and Kid Marvel. That's not really a question.
No, I didn't know Joshua Nystrand that the original RoboCop film franchise was getting a revival in a form of a softer sequel reboot. I'll have to look into that. Anything good yet?
Have you guys seen any SF Debris works? No. What?
No.
I'm not even sure what that is.
Mm-mm.
Okay, come on, guys. We need a really good question to go out on.
Yeah, because Doomcock has to get back to his robots before they destroy something.
Does Doomcock
I'm
have
always
any?
busy.
Yeah, there's a good question.
Does Doomcock have any projects coming up?
Steven Anderson asks.
Well, yes. I have. I am committed to reviewing the rest of Star Trek Discovery. So that is definitely something on my radar. I am also about to release a video addressing the issue of canon. I always get, in debates and arguments with people. What is this canon? Is this canon? And I think I'm going to lay down, basically like Asimov laid down the 3 rules of robotics. I'm going to lay down the rules of what exactly is canon, so that when people ask, well, is this canon? I will point them to the video, because I think it's pretty damn clear. I want to lay down exactly what canon means and when something is out of canon. And then also, I am going to take the plunge The reason I've never done any live stuff on YouTube is because I'm not monetized. And so super chat and things like that won't do diddly squat for me. So, and also there's technical issues with doing stuff live, but I'm going to give it a shot. There's some other technology that actually Random Game User 42 pointed out to me that I can try. So I'm going to give it a shot, guys, at some point in the next week or so.
I think this was fairly successful. Hopefully we can do it a little more often. And hopefully we'll have you on for the rest of our Trek logs finishing up this season, which I know we keep talking about, but will be coming soon. And hopefully when they do, they'll come in a nice big chunk for you guys. So if you can find the time, sir, we'd love to have you join us for those as well.
Absolutely. That's, that is our primary mission, to destroy Star Trek Discovery. It is an abomination. It hurts so much. I don't blame you for we haven't done it yet. I mean, I know you don't. I mean, you're going to have to rewatch it probably at this point, right?
I have not watched the last 2 episodes yet.
Oh, boy.
I've been putting it off as much as possible, to be honest.
The last episode, the last scenes in the last episode are going to scar your retinas. They're going to give you bladder infections. It is that bad. You're going to suffer, my friend. Mikey Spock at the end of that is at her most annoying. At her most annoying. Imagine that for a moment.
I can, and I've seen some of the pictures of some of the stuff, so I already have an idea, but yeah.
Dear God.
Tylon Ranger, though, one last question. He wants to know if you have a brother on YouTube, because you sound exactly like another YouTuber I watch. It's tripping me out. I don't, as far as I know, you're Dictor Van Doomcock, so I can't answer that one.
I have no brother. I have no rivals.
Well, there was your brother, but he's long dead.
Oh, Wilhelm. Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Piano fell on him.
Well, you can learn all about that.
Turret of the castle and landed on him, which makes me convinced I must at some point get a hold of a time machine.
Was it a coyote? Was a paid assassin? I take it.
No, I think I must have got it from a Warner Brothers cartoon. I mean, it's exactly the kind of twisted thing I would do for a laugh, and so I'm sure it must be a time machine. B, it must be a sizable time machine that I can load a piano onto. It's just there's no other explanation. Unless there's going to be a Doomcock fan out there that has a time machine, and then he's going to go and do it for me. I don't know. But definitely time travel, because Wilhelm got smushed in I forget the year. I think it was 1897 by a falling grand piano, Steinway, out of the goddamn turret of the castle. So it must be time travel is possible.
Oh boy! All right. Well, anyway, Doomcock has to return back to the center of the Earth. There's a solar flare actually that's going to be rearing its energy towards us, and we're going to lose this transmission. So we'd like to thank everybody for joining us. We'd like to thank Tom. We'd like to thank the one and only Dictor Van Doomcock for joining us,
which you can find on Overlord DVD on YouTube. And what is your Twitter handle there?
At Doomcock is my Twitter handle. My Patreon page.
Definitely check him out on Patreon and our Patreon too.
And check out Doomcock's merch at Zazzle.com DVD Shop-A-Rama. Is that the right address?
Yes, sir. That is correct. Got T-shirts and all sorts of Doomcock stuff.
Yes, some sweet Doomcock merch. And
maybe if we can get you monetized, then you can actually buy some of your own merch for once.
I can't buy my own merch, guys.
You can't even afford your own stuff. Yeah.
I can't. That's the sad and honest to God truth. There's people out there. I know Random Game User has more of my merchandise than I do.
It's probably true. It's not even a joke. I know what you mean, man.
It's not a joke.
And if I could afford it, I'd buy some of it, man. We can't even afford it yet.
I know.
This YouTube gig just ain't hacking it sometimes. But we love your help, guys, and thank you so much for the super chats. And, of course, for visiting both Doomcock and our Patreon. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and check that out. Thanks a lot again, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, anyway, one more time, I am Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo.
I am Dictor Van Doomcock.
And I am out of time. No, actually, Dictor Van Doomcock is.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you once again, and we will catch everybody next time.
Goodbye.